You earn enough to survive, not enough to feel alive. You pay rent, you eat. The basic things, they get handled. And from the outside, that probably looks fine. Probably looks like you've figured it out. But there's this specific kind of exhaustion that comes from surviving every month and still feeling like you're standing still. Like the floor is stable, but the ceiling never moves. And no one really talks about that part. You check your balance. Not because something is wrong. Nothing is wrong, technically. You just check it the way you always check it. Quietly. Before you say yes to something. Before you make a plan. Before you let yourself want anything. It's become a reflex. A small tax you pay every day just for being in your situation. You're past the age where financial struggle is supposed to be romantic. In your 20s, being broke had a kind of story to it. You were building something, you were figuring it out. People nodded, they got it. But at 30, something shifts. The same situation stops feeling like a phase and starts feeling like a verdict. And meanwhile, people around you seem to be accumulating, buying things, talking about investments, travel plans, property. Not everyone, but enough that you notice, enough that you go quiet when the topic comes up. Not because you're ashamed, or maybe a little because you're ashamed. And that part is hard to admit even to yourself. What nobody counts is the social math you're doing constantly. Every invitation that requires a calculation before a yes. Every group dinner where you scan the menu for the right number. Every time a friend mentions a trip and you smile and say maybe and move on quickly. It's not just the money. It's the management of how the money looks. The quiet work of making sure no one notices. The small performances you run so the conversation doesn't land somewhere uncomfortable. You get good at it eventually. Almost too good. You stop noticing how much energy it takes. There's this version of yourself you maintain in public. The one that seems okay with where things are. Grateful even, because you know it could be worse. You know other people have it harder. And you remind yourself of that often enough that it starts to feel like a rule. You don't get to feel this way. You have enough. But enough is a complicated word. Enough to survive is not the same as enough to feel alive. And at some point, in some ordinary moment, the performance gets heavy. You're tired of acting like the ceiling doesn't bother you. You're tired of pretending the stillness is peace. Look, on those nothing days, where you feel like you've accomplished zero, I've started keeping a different kind of scoreboard. Did I eat? Is the rent paid? Cool, then we're good. Forget about having some 5-year plan or a huge savings account right now. Sometimes just keeping the basics from falling apart is the whole job. On the days that actually suck, that's not just something. It could be everything. If you're sitting there right now with the lights on and you manage to grab some food, give yourself some credit. This isn't about being inspired or doing some manifestation ritual. It's just the truth. You're still here, and you kept things moving. That counts for way more than you think it does. And maybe that's the part nobody says out loud. That keeping things moving, when moving is all you can do, is already enough. Not enough to feel proud of, maybe. Not enough to post about. But enough to be real. You earn enough to survive. Not enough to feel alive. And sitting in that gap, quietly, without falling apart, that's something. That's actually something.